Yo, guys, welcome to the circus that is Serie Ass. Here for the Bologna versus Inter preview that looks like is happening or not happening. But thank you for the 6, 7 people that are in this house right now. I see the chat is live with the news feed, telling us, letting us know exactly what's going on. But at the moment, Inter versus Bologna actually is going on. I've changed the title of this video like 3 times now. First, I said, normal preview. Then I thought it was being postponed, and now I've changed it back to just put a caveat, maybe preview, because it looks like Inter versus Serie A, but Inter versus Bologna is actually going on. Um, but there's actually nothing to preview because Bologna have been banned by the local authority to partake in sporting activities. The ASL of Bologna has banned them from partaking. So I think Inter are gonna do what some other teams have done in the past. Like I remember when last season Napoli versus Bologna. Oh, I guess I keep saying Bologna, man. Napoli versus Juventus was cancelled or postponed or whatever it was, and Juventus still turned up on the day. They still announced their lineup, all that stuff, and then they got you get the 3-0 win by default. So I think this is what is gonna happen to Inter. So there's no need to actually talk about lineups or all that kind of stuff because yeah, as Mohammed says, I think it's gonna be three points. So thank you, Serie Ass. Really is Serie Ass. As Future Hendrik says, man, Serie A is a joke. Um, it's been almost 2 years since COVID has started. It feels like there's not been any improvement in the protocols or anything since was it March 2020 when this all kicked off, and now we're almost in March 2022, and there's not been any improvement in anything. But honestly, I wouldn't have been able to watch the match tomorrow because it's at such a weird time. It's at 11:30 a.m. kickoff time in the UK, and I would have been at work. So on a selfish basis, I'm actually kind of happy that it's not being played, but it was at that time. But I missed Inter over this break, so I am sad that this is not being played. So I'm sad. Future Hendrix has ruined this week. I don't blame you, bro. And I think, really and truly, Inter would have done with the game being played. Like it would have helped Inter coming into the last. I know there's a super busy period, but this wasn't this Bologna game coming after the break. This wasn't the problem. The problem is when the fixtures up and coming are going to get busy. So it would have been good for the players to start getting back into the swing of things. We know sometimes after the winter break they can be a little bit rusty, a little bit lethargic. The guys have been traveling all around back to their countries, maybe partying a little bit, Christmas, New Year parties, all that kind of stuff. So they can be a little bit lethargic after 2 weeks of not playing competitively. No, Anthony, this is not cancelled at the moment. At the moment, is not cancelled. And actually, I'm not too sure what's happening with Hakan's suspension. I've asked a few people, and apparently Hakan's suspension was meant for the Bologna game, so that means he should be able to play the Lazio game. But I can't confirm it with you guys. I'm actually going to pull up. I'm just going to share my screen, and we'll just see what's going on Twitter, because that's where all the news is coming out at the moment. And it looks like Serie A has chosen. They were having an emergency meeting as we speak, and they have decided to do absolutely nothing. So no games are being postponed, even with squads under quarantine orders. So they are actually going ahead with what. So they had a meeting right now, and you can imagine the Serie A meetings being someone these old dudes in the Serie A leadership positions that probably struggle to get into the video calls, struggle with their connection, probably have their mic muted by mistake, or they need their son's help to help set up the mic. So yeah, they were having an extraordinary kind of emergency meeting in the Serie A council to decide on what to do, and it seems like they're going to go with the UEFA COVID-19 protocol, which says that a team is capable of playing a game even if they only have 13, or as long as they have 13 players available. And it doesn't matter if that's Primavera players or first team players, as long as they have 13 players. I believe that is the UEFA COVID protocol, and I think that's what they're doing here. That's why they've decided not to do anything. Serie A won't postpone any game. Local health authorities will block the departure of some teams, as they did with Bologna here, who have numerous COVID cases. So the games will be ruled a 3-0 loss due to match forfeit. Afterwards, they will appeal to replay the game in a later date. And that's the tricky part, because they did this last season, I remember. So Napoli first, they got a 3-0 loss against Juventus, and then they appealed and they got that overturned. So I don't actually know whether this is even going to be useful. It might end up being appealed, taken to the courts, and then the Inter might have to play this game again at some point. But again, Napoli and Juve, they played that game pretty much like towards the end of the season, because it kept getting delayed. They couldn't agree on dates, so it should be okay. It should be maybe played after. It was not going to be in the busy. It's not going to be replayed anytime soon for sure, because the stuff is going to go on. The legal stuff probably will go on for a few months, a few weeks. So it'll probably be played towards the end of the season if it does if the appeal is welcomed by the courts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, there's not much to talk about. We can just talk. We can just have a free general talk, guys, in the chat, like the Serie A, man. So yeah, oh man, King Darian, it's his birthday, but happy birthday to you, man. But it's messed up, your birthday gift of Inter match. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to hear, but I thought I'll still come on the stream. I had it scheduled. I wasn't doing anything else. Don Beppe must be behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean, maybe he was part of that, committee, the Serie A council. I think he is part of that Serie A council, but I'm sure he probably did have something to do with this. We can never put it past Big Beppe. Let me just keep an eye on Twitter, see what's going on. Yeah, so I believe what everyone's tweeting at the moment, it looks like the Hakan suspension. So he served the suspension, because technically the Bologna game has been played, or will by tomorrow it will have been played, because Inter would have won 3-0 by forfeit, by default. So Hakan technically would have served his suspension for that game, so he's back for the Lazio game. So yeah, at least in that term, it works out, and everyone gets a rest, and it works out. But once again, it's 3 points, and of course we'll take them. But I can see, knowing Serie A, knowing what they did in the past, that the appeal, that Bologna will appeal, and they'll probably have to replay this match at some point. So I'm gonna hold my horse on those 3 points. Like, whenever I look at the table now, I'm probably just gonna try. Every time I'm gonna pull up the table, I'm probably just gonna take -3 points up until this game is actually played, just to mentally, just to keep a note of that. I mean, in reality though, even if the game was played, Bologna had 8 players out with COVID, some of them out with AFCON, some of them out with injury. So it would have been, I mean, even Bologna with full power, full strength. We've seen it was 6-1 last time round, and I'm sure, this time around it might have been different because they're looking for revenge. But I don't think it would have been a particularly difficult match to win badly, especially coming after the the Christmas break. I think the players would have been fired up, ready, fresh. Especially that Barella, one of the guys that's needed the break. I was looking forward to seeing Barella, rested. Not gonna surprise that Hakan still banned against Lazio. No common sense is Serie Ass. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't put it past them, but it's not. By the rules. They can't change the rules. So by the rules, Hakan technically will have served the suspension, because that game has been technically played now. So Sendo, the match isn't cancelled; it's going ahead, but Bologna are not going to be there, so it's you could say it's cancelled. Inter probably just going to turn up at the stadium. The Inter Twitter admin is going to post the lineup just as if the match is going to happen, and yeah, nothing will happen from it. So I think they just have to all Inter have to do is turn up at the stadium, be ready to get on the pitch, and yeah, the referee once I think blows the whistle, and then yeah, I think it's just then Inter get the 3 points. So yeah, if you had something to do tomorrow, I mean, as I said, for me it was weird timing tomorrow. 11:30 a.m. kickoff would have been useless for me. I wouldn't be able to watch it at work. But for you Asian man, them, it might have been finally a good time, a good kickoff time for you guys for once. You man in Indonesia, even Australia, you guys finally getting some good timing, and then now now yeah, you can just do something with your evenings. You can do something with your evening. Yeah, exactly. Serie Ass back at it again. So this game is gonna end up like Udinese Salernitana pretty much. Yeah. Which actually I don't remember if that was the Serie A cancelled that one, or was it just that they didn't turn up? I'm not sure 100%. They will cancel the match tomorrow after pre-match test. No way they will give us three. No, well they have to. They're going ahead with it. They've announced that. It looks like after the meeting they announced that all the matches are going ahead. So there's nothing they can do. There's no like, if that is the official decision. I mean, it's not been announced. This is Sky Sports reporting that this is the decision made for now. So there shouldn't be anything to worry about too much. Is later on in the coming months, let's see if they overturn this decision and they might have to replay this game. First easy kickoff and it's canned. I know for you, I was thinking about you guys in Australia. Anthony's probably gonna do a watch along because it's a perfect time for him. But now, mate, unlucky. That's what Juve did. I didn't like that was discussed. Oh yeah, the tweeting and all that. Yeah, I hope the Inter admin doesn't do the whole tweeting, the lineup, all that kind of stuff. There's no need for showing off like that. We know not Bologna are not there. They're not coming to the stadium. Just get on with it and yeah, do what you need to do. And let's see. Juve and Napoli is even more funny because Napoli have got a lot of cases, and whilst Napoli were traveling to Turin, I think they traveled by plane to Turin. They actually 3 more of their players were told to quarantine. Let me share my screen with you. The tweet from Daniele Mari. Here is so Rahmani, Zielinski, Lobotka. They were quarantined by the ASL in Napoli. And the players didn't know nothing of the measure that was about to be taken against them when they left. So they're already there with them on the plane. So it's like you're taking measures against a team that's already traveled to Turin. So first of all, you should have just blocked them traveling. And then now that they are in Turin, you're blocking the 3 players from, you're quarantining the 3 players. Like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. The rules and regulations are an absolute mess in Serie A. I have no clue what's going on. Oh yeah, one talking point, if you're interested. I mean, there's not much to talk about, so you guys can give me something to talk about. But the Curva Nord, my jobless brothers, I mean, this is probably their full-time jobs, being the Curva Nord guys. They delivered a plate, or like a commemoration plate, to Jose Mourinho, who is in Milan for the Roma-Milan match, or Milan versus Roma match. And this is what it says. Mr. Jose Mourinho, la tua carriera lavorativa ti potrà portare ovunque, ma sei e resterai sempre uno di noi. So, you could work anywhere, your career can take you anywhere, but you will always remain one of us. Very nice statement from the Curva Nord. It's always funny, like these thuggish looking Curva Nord ultras, but they always have very emotional, heartfelt, cute, romantic messages. It's a funny oxymoron. But yeah, shout out to them. That was very nice of them. And even Mourinho actually talked about the in his pre-match press conference today. He was asked about coaching rival teams, and he says he wouldn't coach AC Milan and Lazio now out of respect, which I don't believe in fully. And if he wants to respect Inter fans, I think the team he should say is Juventus, not Milan. I would be more annoyed by Mourinho coaching Juventus than Milan, to be honest. So it's nice for him to say, but I don't know. I feel like if Juventus, Milan, one of these teams came calling with a nice big wage and good, project, he would go. I mean, we've seen what he's done at in England, Chelsea, Spurs, Man United. Like there was it is what it is, man. These guys are professionals, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. Exactly, soft-hearted thugs. We love them. Not always agree with them, and a lot of them have interesting, extreme views. Some of them. I don't want to paint them all in the same brush, but yeah, soft-hearted thugs. What do you think about the full interview with Lukaku and the forced apology? I mean, I've talked about the full interview with Lukaku. The forced apology, I mean, like he had to do it. Like the guy, as I said, he lost his mind. He lost his damn mind. I don't know what he was doing. And yeah, that was just it was needed to happen to calm down um Chelsea fans, apologize to his teammates, to the coach. That it just had to happen. But the fact the video looked like he was under gunpoint, like they made him. There was a script that he was reading off, and he was like, made to read it. He didn't look particularly comfortable doing it. But yeah, it had to happen. Is one of the most reckless PR disaster classes I've ever seen a footballer do, especially with someone that I consider to be smart like Lukaku. No, they're actually jobless. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure they will have jobs. I mean, supporting Inter full time like them guys, I'm sure they need to have jobs to be able to afford tickets to the Curva Nord and season tickets and traveling up and down the country. They travel a lot, the Curva Nord guys, wherever we go. Salernitana, Cagliari, South, North, everywhere these guys are present. So yeah, I'm sure they do actually have jobs. I was joking. What else is there, guys? What else is there? So sad. I want to see Hickey versus Dumfries. Yeah, but Hickey was already out anyway. Hickey was one of the guys that contracted COVID, even if this match was going to go ahead. So you wouldn't have got to see that anyway. But yeah, last time Hickey got destroyed by Dumfries, so maybe he wanted to get some revenge on Denzel. What else? What else have we got to talk about? Hey Amadeo, what's up, man? Yeah, Onana. Actually, I talked about Onana in yesterday's stream. If you didn't catch it, bro, Onana in yesterday's stream. It was a 1 hour 45 long stream. So if you've got some time, make sure you go check out yesterday's stream. And I've entered all this timestamps for you to check out exactly which topics I talked about. But yeah, Onana, I'm just happy. Great signing, free transfer, 25-year-old. I mean, you really can't do much better. You can't do much better. And actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about yesterday was disappointments. I talked about my team of the season last year. This past stream for this season. But some of the disappointments of the season for me, for sure. Speaking of Onana, or the goalkeeper situation, is Juan Musso at Atalanta. I had like conflicted feelings about Musso. I feel like on long term he probably was the right choice for Handanovic, but he never convinced me fully. But I felt like Atalanta did make a good deal when they bought him. But I feel like he's been very underwhelming until now. Musso, he's had a few good appearances. I remember there was one match in the Champions League where he was man of the match against Villarreal. But in general, I don't think he's hit those heights that Atalanta would be expecting, especially as he is an upgrade on Gollini. And I think he still is, even with his lackluster performance, he's probably still better than Gollini. But he hasn't struck me as the potential game-changing signing for Atalanta as of yet. So he's been a bit of a disappointment for me, Juan Musso. So yeah, let's talk about that. If you guys got any, we talked about team of the season set for Serie Ass in the last stream. Talk to me about anyone disappointed you. We talked about disappointments for Inter yesterday, which I don't want to. I didn't give an award for disappointment of the season, but we mentioned some people are unimpressed with Correa still. Some people said Barella even, which was I think I did not agree with that. What do you make of in general Serie A? Is any players, coaches wise, as I keep saying, Allegri's been my disappointment of the season in total. Like I expect, I do Allegri. He just seems like he hasn't evolved with the game. 2 years out of the game, and he just hasn't seemed to have evolved in the like in his style of play. Some people call it dinosaur football. Jihadi ball, as I like to call it. What Allegri plays. He's just stuck in 2015, 2016, like the football that Juventus were playing back then. Juventus seem to be trying to play that now, but they don't have the individual star power they had a few years ago. and it's just not working out. Although they are just 4 points out of the top four, they're not too far. They've snuck in, but he's been my disappointment of the season. Sarri's also been disappointing for sure at Lazio. But I think when you look at it on the table, I know they're eighth, but they're only like 1 point or 2 points off the seventh, which I think that's the position where they're going to finish in. And I think that's about right. I think for Lazio squad is a sixth or seventh, type of finish. So he has been very disappointing. Sarri as well, in terms of Lazio just don't seem to have got going under him. But yeah, what are you guys telling me? Tommy says he's expecting us to hit gear 6 of Limone Ball after this winter break. I feel more confident about Liverpool every day. Yeah, that's one thing for sure. The more I watch Liverpool, and they're having some injury issues, COVID issues, like their match today was postponed. I think they were supposed to play today, Liverpool, in the Caribbean Cup, the EFL. And yeah, when I watched Spurs against Conte's, when I watched Liverpool against Conte's Spurs, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Chelsea as well. They defensively, especially, like they're giving me more hope than I had when we first, picked them in the draw. Yeah, we'll see how the injury situation, COVID situation looks by then. They've got Mane, Salah, out for in the AFCON as well. So let's see how they come back. Do they come back with any injuries? Do they have to quarantine after coming back from Africa? I don't know. The rules going to change. So there's a few variables that could play into Inter's hand, but also for the same time, as with the COVID, that's this Omarian, variant that's spreading around, could hit Inter badly. You never know. I remember we had to play a match against, was it the Milan Derby? We had to play that with like 7 COVID cases, didn't we? Like, it was crazy. So, and as it looks like, Serie A saying that as long as you have 13 players available to play the game, you're going to have to play the game. So things can change very, very quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see how we reach that end of January, February period. But yeah, my hope is that we do hit top gear. We didn't, and I hope that we didn't hit top gear too early, because we were flying like before this winter break. I think we looked like if that wasn't top gear, but very, very close to top gear. So I hope we didn't reach top gear too quickly. Shomurodov, yeah, that's a good shout out as a disappointment, Matteo. That's a good shout out. Roma paid quite a lot for him. Was it 17, 18 million for Genoa, from Genoa? Yeah, it's quite a baffling signing as well, because if you sign Tammy Abraham for 14 and you sign this guy for 18, like you've got 2 strikers for 60 million, but then you play a formation that you play. Well, now he's changed it to a 3-5-2 as well, but primarily they played with 1 striker most of the season. I know he's versatile, Shomurodov, but yeah, that's why sometimes, these players that have a good season or a decent season or a really good 6 months, I'm always a little bit cautious when people are trying to hype players like that too early. Like the guy, showed some good promise at Genoa, but was he really worth 18 million? But let's give the guy time as well. But yeah, he's definitely been disappointment. Dybala, of course, but I think with Dybala is the same as, the guy is still a top 5 player in the league on a technical level, but yeah, injuries is just, killing this guy's career. And if you were going to renew him, I'm pretty happy that, it's obviously not good if they renewed a player of the quality of Dybala, but if he's going to be fit for only like 50% of the season, then, that's a lot of money. It was he wants 8-9 million net a season for barely being fit for most of the season. So at the same time, it might be good for other teams, and especially Inter, if they're going to invest their money on injury-prone players like that. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. I actually completely said I don't want to talk about a disappointment player for Inter until the end of the season, at least. I think any judgment until now would be too premature. Yeah, exactly. Allegri and Sarri, as I said, Igor Tudor, Juric and Italiano, great coaches for the situation. Yeah, they deserve a shout out for sure. Juric, he's doing what we expected of him, just improving Torino like he improved Hellas Verona. Tudor, yeah, had an amazing initial impact, but they have dropped off, but still deserves really, really good praise. And he continued actually even Juric's work. He was smart, unlike Di Francesco, probably tried to change a little bit too much. Tudor used Juric's high pressing, man for man zone of marking that Hellas Verona employ, that kind of Atalanta school that Juric uses. So he did really well in Italiano, yeah. Just a smart signing. He was just destined to be a bigger club after what he did at Spezia. Nice football. And keeping the Vlahovic situation, he deserves a lot of credit for keeping Vlahovic, focused on the situation, because after the whole contract thing came out, it could have been big issue. So that shows that he's a good manager as well. So shouts out. But I think Andrea Azzoli, until now, I think he deserves to be probably coach of the season until now, because what he's doing with Empoli is absolutely, outstanding. They're I think I had them. Oh no, actually, after my updated predictions, I had them staying safe. But still, I think I said I had them 16th, 17th. But yeah, what he's doing, top half of the table until now, is amazing work, man. Amazing work. Balkan Warrior says Insigne, Chiesa, Dybala as disappointments. Yeah, I agree. Definitely Chiesa, after the Euros he had, after the season he had last year. And that's another one. But I also blame 50-50. That's on Allegri, because he's misusing him, almost as like when they were playing in his position as a winger. He was because Juve were defending so deep at the beginning of the season, almost playing him as a second right back, as Carlo Garganese said. And then at some points even playing him as a second striker, as a striker. Like, it's just, that is not his position, just completely misusing him. Insigne, yeah, I think he's got 0 non-penalty goals in the Serie A, and I think he's got only 1 non-penalty goal the whole season. I think that's in the Europa League. Yeah, I don't know if it's like a post-Euros type of hangover, or just the guy already is kind of calling it quits with top-level football. And his move to Toronto, I mean, fair play to him, but it's kind of disappointing as well. So yeah, those are 3 good shouts. Sensi, I mean, with Sensi, but it's disappointing if you have expectation. With Sensi, I didn't have any expectations of him being any more fit. So he's just unfit, and there's nothing we can do. And he doesn't have enough minutes for him to be a disappointment. I think last season, when I was still having hope for him, he was a disappointment. But this season, the hope is really like this much left with Sensi's career at Inter. So for me, it's not really a disappointment, because I pretty much expected it. Inzaghi made managing Lazio look easy, especially, I think you see how bad the defense is. I think Lazio, let me pull up the table, like their defensive record this season is absolutely atrocious. Let's have a look. So they are 8th, 1 point behind Fiorentina. So they're right there. Like, I think they will finish in the top 7, which is completely fine. But goals against, 34 goals against. Bologna have conceded less goals than them. Torino have conceded less goals than Verona, Sassuolo. Like, every team apart from up until Sampdoria have conceded less goals than them. That is pretty embarrassing. They're lucky that they're able to score a lot of goals as well, and they got good firepower, but they need to sort out their defense. So I think Inzaghi's work looks a lot better than people might have given him credit for, now that they're seeing Sarri's work. But I think it was always expected, in terms of going from 3 at the back for like 5 seasons of Inzaghi's 3-5-2 to changing to high line, completely different style of play, 4-3-3 under Sarri. So it was always going to be some adaptation time. Inzaghi ball comes back tomorrow, baby. Ricky Buzz, if you missed it, I mean, you can tune in if you want, but you're not going to see anything. Inter are going to probably get a 3-0 win on by forfeit by default, and then we'll see what happens. So you're not going to get to watch any Inter tomorrow, mate. Unlucky. Can we expect some AFCON coverage, Tommy? Good question, but I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know if people really want it. And then, I mean, I'm gonna watch the matches. I'm definitely gonna tune into matches, especially some of the the teams I'm more interested in, like Cameroon, Nigeria, Senegal. Definitely gonna be watching Cameroon because of Onana watch. But yeah, I don't know if because I don't really have a team, because in the Euros I had Italy, so I covered the Euros from that perspective. So yeah, no coverage for me on AFCON, unfortunately. Um, I mean, Kolarov, Maguire 2.0. I mean, you can't compare. Kolarov cost what 1.5 million, and again, that's if you have expectations for Kolarov. Kolarov to me was always a backup signing. But yeah, we're talking about last season. Definitely, maybe was one of the disappointments. But this season, again, similarly to Saints, I have zero expectation from Kolarov, so there's no disappointment for me in the Kolarov. Actually, the fact that he's got some appearances is the surprising part. Um, Honorable mention for Manolas, Manolas with the two S's at the end. I've always found that he's overrated. Once again, like I always thought, even in his peak when he was at Roma, I always thought he was very overrated. Um, he's just always like defensively, like he always covered his ass because he's got good pace, good physicality, but his reading of the game, his decision making has always been quite poor in my eyes. On the ball, he's okay as well. Like he's always just I've always felt he's overrated. So I feel like going to Greece, Olympiacos at his age already, only like 31, 32. Like I think that's really his level. Pinamonti over Esposito. What are you talking about? Sorry, did I were you talking about or you're just saying in general, you're just saying that Pinamonti should be in over Esposito, uh or you're saying that Esposito is the disappointment of the season? Sorry, Eduardo, I just missed the point. Free Acerbi, yeah, he's actually, I would say he's one of my disappointments of the season as well. I mean, the system probably doesn't suit him in terms of the high line, high pressing style of play. And now he's advancing age, 32, 33. You can see he struggles sometimes when he's chasing when Lazio are pressing up high and he has to run backwards to defend. You can see he's running for his life. Why are you running? But yeah, he's been one of my disappointments of the season, and he's he's faced the wrath of the Lazio ultras, hasn't he, for some of his statements and some of his celebrations towards them. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Cherby. I wouldn't mind him as a backup, but he probably would be a little bit expensive as a backup. Who do you want starting the right wing back when Darmian's back, given Dumfries' form? Ooh, interesting question. I think Dumfries, if Inzaghi feels like he's fully integrated, and I think there's still some question marks of him defensively, but I just think the potential of Dumfries he just got that bit more potential going forward. Just more pace, that athleticism, getting into the box, the heading ability. I think he's got a bit more of a goal threat than Darmian. But with Darmian, it's just that reliability, the steadiness. You just know what he's going to give you. But I feel like with Dumfries, there's that more potential to have a bit more, especially in the Champions League against Liverpool. If this is against Liverpool, I would want to start Dumfries. I feel like he gives you that counter-attacking ability in open spaces. But I see Darmian kind of coming back, and I think Inzaghi is going to opt for the boring, solid option when he comes back. But I think long term, I would say Dumfries for me. But we'll see. We'll see if how his integration continues. Yeah, exactly. Selfishly, for me, I was selfishly glad because I couldn't actually watch the match live because I was at work at that time, 11:30 UK time. No, of course, no disrespect to the AFCON. Actually, I want to make sure that people respect the AFCON. It's a very unique tournament. And I hope there's people try to tune in, because especially the later stages, it does get really, really interesting, and there's always some good, interesting talent in the AFCON. Allegri should be in jail at this point. He's a serial killer of talented attackers. He shackled both Cancelo, Spinazzola's growth. Well, Spinazzola, he always had his injury issues. And they didn't really, kill the ball in 18, 19. The kids is gonna be next. Yeah. I mean, Allegri is definitely not the guy to thrive under if you're an attacking, creative player for sure. Yeah. What's up, Kev Birch? Hope Dumfries keeps his starting place if the match is played tomorrow. No, the match is not going to be played tomorrow, bro. The match is going ahead, but Inter are probably gonna get the 3-0 win by default. Lord Figo in the house telling Mikey D to wake up. Yeah, Mikey D, wake up. Get a DVR box to watch the early match, Mikey D. Otherwise, try to wake up. Keeping Pinamonti loaning Esposito last season when Esposito played better. I mean, I think they would have been just as useless as each other. Esposito played with Venezia in the Serie B a little bit, but he wasn't particularly impressive from what I saw. I think Esposito definitely has a higher ceiling than Pinamonti. I think he's got more raw talent, like technical ability for sure, but I think it would be useless to keep either of them. We saw the amount of time Pinamonti played, and I think Esposito would have probably got the same amount of playing time as well. Sorry. You just missed the Lukaku moment while following the ball. No way. Well, I'm sure Twitter will show me. If I go on Twitter, I'm sure I'm gonna see. Because they're playing right now against each other, aren't they? Lukaku and Conte against each other in the EFL Cup. Yeah, it's not been posted on my timeline yet, but I'm sure it will be soon. Sargis, tomorrow's game isn't cancelled technically, but Bologna are not gonna play. So yeah, Inter are gonna get a 3-0 win. So yeah, you can just do what you want with your evening tomorrow or your day. To be fair, I don't remember Allegri at Milan as pragmatic as he is now at Juve. Well, I mean, he played Erbi Emanuelson at attacking midfield. You know, Emanuelson, who played most of his career as a left back, centre mid, and he played him as an attacking midfielder. So that's all you need to know. Yeah, he had more of an attacking squad at Milan as well in general. And, it was the Berlusconi era where, he in general, they wanted to be more attacking. Well, back then they had Zlatan, Cassano, Pato, Robinho. So, it was a pretty attacking, he had a lot of attacking talent that he had to use. And it was a lot of long ball to Ibra and Inshallah, like, the Nocerino coming through, thanks to Ibrahimovic. Like, I think it was good. It was good football, but I think it was because of the quality of the players as well that Milan had that time. But yeah, guys, struggling really. Thank you for the 31 people that tuned in, but there's not really too much to talk about. I don't want to take up too much time talking empty, but yeah, Inter looks like they're going to get a 3-0 win tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, if we do, then it's nice, but I would have liked to see Inter play, so it's a shame. And yeah, now what is Inter schedule? Is it Lazio next or is it Juve? I think it should be Lazio next, isn't it? Lazio next, so that will be our next appointment on this channel, unless I make a video in between then. Yeah, Lazio Sunday, 7:45. If nothing happens by then, let's see. You never know with this league. And then afterwards, it will be the Super Cup against Juventus. Of course, we're going to build up to that. So yeah, keep a lookout on the channel for that. Brothers of the World podcast. Make sure you guys check him out. This Juve doesn't have enough. I want to save judgment on Allegri until he makes it another season. Yeah, but the squad still, like, I've always maintained, even when Pirlo was there, this squad, I know it's not great, but it's still a top 4 squad without a doubt. It's the highest paid, highest salary squad in the league. He is the highest paid coach in the league. The thing that Juve fans kept pointing to us last season when Inter went doing well. Oh, you have the highest paid coach. Oh, your salary is second in the league. You have to win the league. You invested 150 million. And these guys have got the highest salary in the league. They got the highest paid coach, who's on like 89 million net, which is double what Inzaghi's earning. So there should be pressure. There should be criticism on Allegri. But yeah, maybe it's not completely a title winning squad, but that is still a good squad. There is some overpaid guys in there, like the Ramses, the Rabios for sure. But in general, that squad in totality is a good squad. And obviously they didn't replace Cristiano, which is a massive the guy is almost like a guaranteed goal per game almost. So it's a massive miss, like replacing Cristiano with Kane and Morata is a massive downgrade, but still that squad is good enough to get top 4. So of course, we're going to reserve judgment. They can't fire him. That's the thing, because he's such a big contract, a big salary for a 4-year contract. They're stuck with him at least for at least this season. They're going to pay him 40 million to go now, and maybe next season if they still do badly. So they're stuck with Allegri. So he's going to get the time to fix this. But I don't know if he's going to get the money to fix it if they don't qualify for the next Champions League, which would be perfect if they don't qualify for the next Champions League, because that means no Champions League money for them, more money troubles for them. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys sticking it out with me here, talking about random stuff, as we don't have Bologna-Inter to talk about anymore. And yeah, make sure, guys, at least leave a thumbs up before you leave the stream. Make sure you leave a thumbs up if you're new to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you all coming in. Appreciate everyone, especially thank you, my channel members coming through, supporting the channel. Eduardo, Tommy, all you, Mandem, Amedeo, and of course everyone else, Indro, everyone, all the regulars, Lord Figo. But yeah, thank you guys. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter.